My name is Gloria Patterson, and I am 65 years old. I worked hard all my life. I raised 3 children by myself after my husband passed when I was just 38. I cleaned houses, worked night shifts at the hospital, and did hair in my kitchen on weekends. I saved every penny I could. My babies never went hungry. They always had clean clothes and a roof over their heads. I taught them about God, about hard work, and about treating people right. But sometimes the people you love the most will hurt you the deepest. Let me tell you what happened to me 3 weeks ago. Let me tell you about the day I stood outside a house I bought in secret and watched my daughter-in-law, Vanessa, give a tour to her lover and her best friend. Let me tell you about the smile I kept on my face while my heart was breaking into 1,000 pieces. It all started on a Tuesday afternoon. I was supposed to be at my sister's house helping her organize her garage. That was what I told everyone. But really, I was parked down the street from my new house. The house nobody knew about. The house I bought with money I saved for 40 years. The house I was going to surprise my family with at Thanksgiving. I saw Vanessa's silver car pull into my driveway. My heart jumped. What was she doing there? I had not given anyone the address yet. The only people who knew about this house were me, the real estate agent, and the lawyer who handled the paperwork. I kept it secret because I wanted to surprise everyone. I wanted to see their faces light up when I told them that Grandma Gloria finally bought her dream home. But my joy turned to ice when I saw Vanessa get out of her car. She was not alone. A man got out of the passenger side. He was tall, young, maybe 30 years old. He wore expensive clothes and gold chains. He was not my son Marcus. Marcus was at work. Marcus worked 12-hour shifts at the auto plant to take care of his wife and their 2 babies. Then another woman got out of the back seat. I recognized her. That was Shanice, Vanessa's best friend from college. They were always together, always whispering and laughing about things they would not share with the family. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned pale. What were they doing at my house? I watched Vanessa pull out a key. A key! How did she have a key to my house? She opened the front door like she owned the place. The 3 of them walked inside, laughing and talking. I could see them through the big front windows. Vanessa was walking around my living room, pointing at things, touching my walls, standing in my space like it belonged to her. I got out of my car. My legs felt shaky, but I made them move. I walked up the street, staying on the opposite side, hiding behind the big oak trees. I needed to see what was happening. I needed to understand. Before we continue, please comment below, as I'd love to hear your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel to help us reach that big 1,000 subscriber milestone. Through the window, I could see everything. Vanessa was giving them a tour. She walked them from room to room, her hands moving as she talked. The young man had his arm around her waist. His hand was too comfortable on her hip. Vanessa leaned into him, smiling up at his face, the way a woman smiles at a man she loves. The way she used to smile at my son when they first got married. My chest felt tight. I could not breathe right. This woman who ate at my table, this woman who I welcomed into my family, this woman who I watched marry my son in a beautiful ceremony at Greater Hope Baptist Church 7 years ago. This woman who gave me 2 precious grandbabies. This woman was in my house with another man, acting like she owned the place. Shanice was walking around with her phone out, taking pictures of everything, the kitchen, the living room, the backyard through the glass doors. Why was she taking pictures? They spent almost an hour in there. I stood behind that tree the whole time, watching. My feet hurt, my back hurt, but I could not leave. I had to see how this played out. Finally, they came back to the living room. I could see them talking. Vanessa was animated, excited about something. The man pulled her close and kissed her. Right there in my living room, his hands were all over her. Shanice turned away, still taking pictures of the rooms. Then I heard something that made my blood run cold. The window was cracked open just a little bit because it was a warm day. I could hear their voices. "So this is really gonna work?" the man said. "You sure your mother-in-law don't know nothing about this house?" Vanessa laughed. It was a cruel sound. "Baby, Gloria is so trusting. She does not suspect a thing. Marcus thinks I am at a job interview. His mama thinks I am helping her pick out furniture. Nobody knows I found out about this house." "How did you find out?" Shanice asked. "I saw some papers in her Bible when I was over there last week," Vanessa said. She always leaves her Bible on the coffee table. "I was just being nosy, and I saw the deed. This house is in her name, but she has not told nobody about it yet. She probably wants to surprise us or something. But I got plans of my own." The man laughed. "So we just gonna flip this house and take the money?" "That's the plan, baby," Vanessa said. "I already talked to a real estate agent, a different one from the one she used. I told him I am the owner's daughter and she is getting old and forgetful. I said she wants to sell, but she gets confused with paperwork. I forged her signature on some documents. My agent friend says we can list this house for $350,000, maybe more. Gloria bought it for $200,000 cash. She is so old-fashioned, she does not even understand how real estate works now. This neighborhood is hot. We can make at least $150,000 profit." My vision got blurry. I had to lean against the tree to keep from falling. She forged my signature? She was trying to steal my house? The house I worked 40 years to buy? "What about Marcus?" Shanice asked. "He is gonna find out." Vanessa waved her hand like she was swatting a fly. "Marcus is so busy working all the time, he barely knows what day it is. By the time he realizes what happened, we will be gone. Me and Darnell are moving to Atlanta. We already got an apartment lined up. I will take the kids, and Marcus can figure out his life without me." "What about the kids?" Shanice said quietly. "They love their daddy. They will get over it," Vanessa said coldly. "Darnell makes 3 times what Marcus makes. My babies will have a better life with us. Marcus can visit them on holidays if he wants. But I am done playing housewife to a man who can barely afford to take me to Red Lobster once a month." Darnell, the man with his hands all over my daughter-in-law, laughed again. "That's my girl, smart and beautiful. We gonna be living good in Atlanta, baby." They kissed again, long and deep, like they had been together for a long time, like my son meant nothing, like those 2 babies at home meant nothing, like the vows she made in church meant nothing. I stepped back from the tree. I felt like I was watching a nightmare. This could not be real, but it was real. It was happening right in front of me. I walked back to my car on legs that did not feel like my own. I got in and I sat there. I did not cry. I was past crying. I was in that place where pain turns into something else. Something harder, something colder. I watched them leave 20 minutes later. They locked up my house with the key Vanessa must have copied when she found my papers. They drove away in her car, laughing and touching each other like they did not have a care in the world. I sat in my car for a long time after they left. The sun was going down. The street was getting dark. My phone rang twice. It was Marcus calling, probably wondering where I was. I did not answer. I could not talk to him yet. Not until I figured out what to do. Finally, I started my car. I drove to Home Depot. I bought new locks for every door in that house. Front door, back door, side door, garage door, everything. The man at the store asked if I needed help installing them. I said no thank you. I could do it myself. Then I drove to my sister Diane's house. Diane is my younger sister. She is 62 and she does not play games. When I told her what I saw, what I heard, her face got hard. "That girl has lost her mind," Diane said. "She really thinks she is going to steal your house and run off with some man, while Marcus is working himself to death to take care of her and those babies." "I do not know what to do, Diane," I said. My voice finally broke. "Those are my grandbabies. If I tell Marcus, it is gonna destroy him. But if I do not tell him, he is gonna lose everything, his wife, his kids, his dignity." Diane took my hands. "Gloria, you are one of the strongest women I know. You raised 3 kids alone. You buried a husband. You worked 3 jobs at once. You survived things that would have broken other people. You are gonna survive this too. But first, we need to make sure that evil woman does not steal what belongs to you." "I already bought new locks," I said. Diane smiled. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of a woman who knows how to fight back. "Good. That is a start. But we need to do more. We need to protect Marcus. We need to protect those babies. And we need to make sure Vanessa pays for what she is trying to do." "How?" I asked. "First, we change those locks tonight," Diane said. "Then tomorrow we go see a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. We go see Bernard Thompson. You remember Bernard? He goes to our church. His son used to play with Marcus when they were little. Bernard is one of the best lawyers in this city. He handles family law and fraud cases. If anyone can help us, it is Bernard." So that is what we did. That night, me and Diane drove back to my house. The house Vanessa thought she was going to steal. We worked under the porch light, changing every single lock. It took us 3 hours. My hands were sore. My back was screaming. But we did it. Every lock, every door, all changed. When we finished, I stood in my new living room and looked around. This was mine. I bought this with money I earned with my own 2 hands. Nobody was going to take it from me. Not Vanessa, not her lover, not anybody. But changing the locks was just the beginning. I knew that. Vanessa had forged documents. She had copied keys. She had made plans to sell my house and run away with my grandbabies. This was not just betrayal. This was theft. This was fraud. This was kidnapping. And I was not going to let it happen. The next morning, I called Bernard Thompson. His secretary said he could see me that afternoon. I got dressed in my best church clothes. I put on my pearls, I did my hair, I looked in the mirror, and I saw a woman who was ready to fight. Diane came with me to Bernard's office. He was a tall man with gray in his beard and kind eyes behind his glasses. But when I told him my story, those kind eyes turned sharp and focused. "Mrs. Patterson," he said when I finished, "what you are describing is serious fraud, identity theft, attempted theft of property. If she tries to sell your house with forged documents, she could go to prison." "I do not want her to go to prison," I said quietly. "I want my son to know the truth. I want my grandbabies to be safe. I want my house to stay mine. But those babies love their mama. I do not want to destroy their family if I do not have to." Bernard leaned back in his chair. "I understand." "You are a good woman, Mrs. Patterson. But you need to understand something. This woman is not just cheating on your son. She is committing crimes, multiple crimes. And if you do not stop her now, she will disappear with those children, and your son will never see them again." My heart sank. I knew he was right. This was bigger than hurt feelings and broken marriages. This was about protecting my grandbabies. This was about stopping a woman who was willing to destroy an entire family for money and a new man. "What do I do?" I asked. Bernard pulled out a legal pad and started writing. "First, we file a police report. Tonight, we tell them about the fraud, the forged documents, everything. Then we get a restraining order to keep her away from your property. Then we need to tell Marcus, yes, he deserves to know what his wife is planning." I closed my eyes, telling Marcus was going to kill him. He loved Vanessa so much. Even after 7 years of marriage, he still looked at her like she hung the moon. "There is more," Bernard said gently. "We need to act fast. If she has already started the process to sell the house with forged documents, we need to stop it before she finds a buyer. And we need to make sure she does not take those children out of state." "How do we do that?" Diane asked. "We go to family court. We file for emergency custody on behalf of Marcus. We present evidence of Vanessa's plans to flee the state with the children. A judge can issue an order preventing her from taking them out of Michigan until the case is resolved." My head was spinning. Police reports, restraining orders, family court. This was all happening so fast. Just yesterday, I thought my biggest problem was deciding what color to paint my new kitchen. Now I was planning legal battles against my own daughter-in-law. But I looked at Bernard's serious face. I looked at my sister Diane, who was nodding in agreement. I thought about my son Marcus, who was working right now, who had no idea that his whole world was about to fall apart. I thought about my grandbabies, sweet little Amara, who just turned 6, and baby Jordan, who was only 3. They did not deserve any of this. "Okay," I said. My voice was stronger than I felt. "Let us do it, all of it, whatever it takes to protect my family." Bernard smiled. "That is what I wanted to hear. Now, do you have any proof of what you saw and heard? Any recordings? Any documents?" I shook my head. "I just have what I saw with my own eyes and what I heard with my own ears. That may not be enough for criminal charges," Bernard said, "but it is enough to start the process. Here is what we are going to do tonight." As Bernard laid out the plan, I felt something growing inside me. It was not anger anymore. It was not even hurt. It was determination. It was the same feeling I had 40 years ago. when my husband died and I had to figure out how to feed 3 children by myself. It was the same feeling I had when I worked 3 jobs and went back to school at night to get my nursing degree. It was the same feeling that got me through every hard thing in my life. I was Gloria Patterson. I survived poverty. I survived loss. I survived heartbreak. And I was going to survive this too. But more than that, I was going to make sure my son and my grandbabies survived it too. Because that is what mothers do. We protect our children, even when it hurts, even when it costs us everything. We stand up and we fight, and Vanessa was about to learn that she picked the wrong family to steal from. That night, me and Diane went to the police station downtown. The building was cold and bright with fluorescent lights. The officer at the front desk was a young black woman with her hair pulled back in a tight bun. Her name tag said Officer Williams. "I need to report a fraud," I said. My voice did not shake, even though my hands did. Officer Williams took us to a small room with a table and chairs. Another officer joined us. This one was older, a black man with gray at his temples. Detective Harris. He had kind eyes but a serious face. I told them everything. About the house, about finding Vanessa there with her lover, about the forged documents, about her plan to sell my house and run away with my grandbabies. I told them every word I heard through that window. Detective Harris wrote everything down. "Mrs. Patterson, do you have copies of the deed to your house? Any proof that you are the legal owner?" I pulled out the folder Bernard told me to bring. Inside was the deed, the closing documents, everything that proved the house was mine. I bought it fair and square with my own money. Detective Harris looked through the papers carefully. "This is definitely fraud if she forged your signature on any documents. Do you know which real estate agent she contacted?" "No, sir," I said. "I only heard her say she talked to someone." "She said it was a different agent from the one I used." "We will need to investigate that," he said. "In the meantime, I am going to file this report. But Mrs. Patterson, I need to be honest with you. Without proof of the forged documents, it is hard to make an arrest right now. We need to catch her in the act of trying to sell the house, or we need to find those forged papers." My heart sank. So she could still try to take my house? "Not if you changed the locks like you said," Officer Williams spoke up. "And not if we are watching. Detective Harris can open an investigation. We can contact real estate offices in the area and warn them about potential fraud involving your property address. That will make it much harder for her to actually complete a sale." "What about my grandbabies?" I asked. "She said she is taking them to Atlanta." "My son does not even know she is planning to leave him." Detective Harris's face got hard. "That is parental kidnapping if she takes them out of state, without the father's permission. Does your son have legal custody?" "They are married," I said. "They both have custody." "Then she cannot legally take those children out of state without his agreement," Detective Harris said. "If you are worried she might run, you need to tell your son immediately, tonight. He needs to know what is happening so he can protect his rights as a father." I knew he was right. I knew I had to tell Marcus, but my heart was breaking just thinking about it. My baby boy, my firstborn, the son who worked so hard to build a good life for his family. How was I going to tell him that his wife was betraying him in the worst way possible? Diane squeezed my hand. We will do it together, Gloria. Tonight, we will go to his house and we will tell him. After we left the police station, it was almost 9 o'clock at night. Marcus would be home from work by now. I called him from my car. Hey, Mama, he said. He sounded tired. I tried to call you earlier. Where you been? Baby, I need to come by and talk to you, I said. It is important. Is Vanessa there? Nah, she is out with Shanice, he said. Said they were going to a movie. She won't be back till late. What is going on, Mama? You sound funny. I am coming over right now, I said. Put on some coffee. We need to talk. I could hear the worry in his voice when he answered. Okay, Mama, I will be waiting. Me and Diane drove to Marcus's house. It was a small rental in a decent neighborhood. Marcus kept the lawn nice and the house painted. He was proud of his home, even though it was not much. He always said he was saving up to buy a real house someday, something with a yard for the kids to play in. He opened the door before we could knock. Marcus is a good-looking man, tall and strong from working at the auto plant. He has his father's eyes and my smile, but right now he looked worried. Mama, Aunt Diane, what is going on? He asked. Y'all got me scared. We went inside. The house was clean but cluttered with toys. Amara and Jordan were already asleep in their room. I could see their nightlight glowing down the hall. Marcus made us coffee, and we sat at his kitchen table. I held my cup with both hands to keep them from shaking. Baby, I got something to tell you, and it is gonna hurt, I started. But you need to know. You need to know tonight, because we have to act fast to protect you and those babies. Marcus's face got serious. What is it, Mama? So I told him everything. About the house I bought in secret. About seeing Vanessa there with another man. About the forged documents and the plan to steal my house. About Vanessa's plan to take his children and move to Atlanta with her lover. With every word, I watched my son's face change. First confusion, then disbelief, then pain so deep it made me want to stop talking. But I could not stop. He needed to hear it all. When I finished, Marcus just sat there. He did not say anything for a long time. He just stared at his coffee cup like it had answers written on the bottom. Marcus, baby, say something, I said softly. He looked up at me. His eyes were wet, but no tears fell. Are you sure? Mama, are you absolutely sure? Maybe you misunderstood what you heard. Maybe. I know what I heard, I said firmly. I stood outside that house for over an hour. I heard every word. She has a man named Darnell. She is planning to sell my house and use the money to start a new life with him in Atlanta. And she is planning to take Amara and Jordan with her. Marcus put his head in his hands. His shoulders started shaking. My strong son who never cried, who held it together when his daddy died, who worked 70 hours a week to provide for his family. He was breaking apart right in front of me. Diane got up and put her hand on his shoulder. Marcus, baby, we are gonna get through this. Your mama already talked to a lawyer. We already filed a police report. We are gonna protect you and those babies. But you need to be strong now. You need to fight for your children. Marcus looked up. The pain in his eyes had turned to something else, something harder. Where is she now? Where is Vanessa? She told you she was going to a movie with Shanice, I said. But I do not know if that is true. She lies about everything now. Marcus pulled out his phone. His hands were shaking. He opened an app and showed it to us. We have a family location sharing thing for safety, so we always know where the kids are. He tapped on Vanessa's name. A map came up. Her location showed she was at a hotel on the other side of town. Not at a movie theater, at a hotel. Marcus's jaw got tight. She is at the Embassy Suites. That is where Darnell probably lives, or where they meet up. Marcus, do not do anything crazy, Diane said quickly. We handle this the legal way. We handle this smart. I am not going to do nothing crazy, Marcus said. His voice was cold. But I am going to take pictures of where she is, screenshots with the time and date, evidence, because when we go to court, I am going to make sure everybody knows what kind of mother she really is. He took screenshots of the location. Then he opened his banking app. I am moving money out of our joint account right now. She is not going to clean me out before she leaves. Whatever is in there, I am putting it in an account with just my name on it. That is smart, I said. Protect yourself, baby. Marcus worked on his phone for a few more minutes. Then he looked at me with eyes that looked older than they did an hour ago. Mama, where are your grandbabies gonna sleep tonight? What do you mean? I asked. I mean, when Vanessa gets home and I confront her about this, it is gonna get ugly. I do not want Amara and Jordan to hear us fighting. Can they stay with you tonight? I will wake them up and take them to your house right now. Tell them it is a surprise sleepover with Grandma. My heart ached for him. Even in his pain, he was thinking about protecting his babies from the ugly truth. Of course, I said. Bring them to my house. They can stay as long as they need to. Marcus went to wake up his children. I heard him talking softly in their room. Hey babies, wake up. We are going to Grandma's house for a special sleepover. Come on now, I will carry you to the car. Little Amara came out rubbing her eyes, wearing her princess pajamas. Daddy, why are we going to Grandma's house so late? Because Grandma missed you and wants to make you pancakes in the morning, Marcus said. His voice was steady, but I could hear the pain underneath. He carried sleeping Jordan in his arms. That baby did not even wake up, just snuggled into his daddy's chest. We drove back to my old house with the babies. Marcus came inside and tucked them into the guest room bed. He kissed both their foreheads and stood there looking at them for a long time. Mama, I do not know how I'm going to tell them, he said quietly. How do I explain that their mama does not want to be with us anymore? You do not have to figure that out tonight, I said. Tonight, you just keep them safe. Tomorrow, we meet with Bernard the lawyer, and we start fighting back. Marcus hugged me tight. Thank you, Mama, for everything. For finding out about this before it was too late. For protecting us. After Marcus left, I sat on my couch and finally let myself cry. I cried for my son's broken heart. I cried for my grandbabies who were about to learn that their family was falling apart. I cried for the fool I was for ever trusting Vanessa in the first place. But I did not cry for long because there was too much work to do. The next morning, I got up early and made pancakes like I promised Amara. The babies sat at my kitchen table, eating and laughing, with no idea that their whole world had changed overnight. My phone rang around 8 in the morning. It was Marcus. Mama, she knows, he said. His voice was tight. Vanessa came home around midnight. I confronted her about everything. She denied it at first, called me crazy, said I was making things up. But I showed her the location screenshots. I told her I knew about Darnell. I told her I knew about the house. She finally admitted it, all of it. What happened then? I asked. She got mean, Mama. Real mean. Said she never loved me. Said she only married me because she was pregnant with Amara, and her mama pressured her into it. Said I was boring and broke, and she deserved better. Said Darnell was a real man who could give her the life she wanted. My hand tightened on the phone. How dare she say those things to my son? Then she asked where the kids were, Marcus continued. When I told her they were with you, she lost her mind, started screaming that I had no right to take her kids. I told her they are my kids too, and I was protecting them. That is when she said she was going to your new house to get some things. She said she was going to take whatever she wanted from there, and there was nothing you could do about it. I smiled, a cold smile. Let her try. Mama, what are you talking about? Baby, remember I told you I changed all the locks? Vanessa still has the old key. When she tries to get into that house, she's gonna find out real quick that she does not have access anymore. And when she does, I want you to call Detective Harris. We gave him our number last night. Tell him Vanessa is trying to break into my property. Let the police handle it from there. Marcus was quiet for a second. Then he laughed. It was not a happy laugh, but it was something. Mama, you are something else. You really thought of everything. I had good teachers, I said. Your grandmama did not raise no fool. Now you stay strong, baby. Me and you are meeting with Bernard at 10 o'clock. Be ready. Around 9 o'clock that morning, my phone started blowing up. First, it was Vanessa calling. I did not answer. Then it was Shanice calling. I did not answer her either. Then Vanessa started texting me. Gloria, I need to talk to you about the house. Please call me back. Gloria, Marcus is being unreasonable. We need to work this out as adults. Gloria, answer your phone right now. Then the texts got nasty. You turned my husband against me. This is all your fault. You are a bitter old woman who cannot stand to see me happy. I am coming to that house whether you like it or not. I showed the texts to Diane. She just shook her head. That girl is panicking now. She knows her plan fell apart. Watch what happens next. What happened next was my doorbell camera sending me an alert. Someone was at my new house. I opened the app on my phone and there she was, Vanessa, looking angry and desperate. She was trying to put her key in the lock. The key did not work. She tried again. Nothing. I watched her try 4 more times. Then she started banging on the door. Then she walked around to the back door. I switched cameras and watched her try that door too. When that did not work, she started pulling on the windows. I called Detective Harris. She is trying to break into my house right now. I got it all on camera. Stay where you are, sir. Mrs. Patterson, he said, I am sending a unit right now. I called Marcus. Your wife is at my house trying to break in. Police are on the way. I am coming there too, Marcus said. No, baby. Stay away, I said. Let the police handle this. You being there will just make it worse. Trust me. I watched on my camera as a police car pulled up to my house 10 minutes later. 2 officers got out. One of them was Officer Williams from last night. They approached Vanessa, who was still trying to get in through the back door. I could not hear what they were saying, but I could see Vanessa's face. She was angry. She was pointing at the house. probably telling them some lie about how it was her house, or her mother-in-law gave her permission to be there. Officer Williams was shaking her head. She said something and showed Vanessa something on her phone. Probably the police report from last night. Probably my proof that I owned the house. Vanessa's face changed. She looked scared now. She started backing away from the officers. But they were not done with her. Officer Williams said something else and pointed at Vanessa's car. Then I saw Detective Harris pull up in an unmarked car. He got out and walked over to them. He talked to Vanessa for a few minutes. Then he pulled out handcuffs. My breath caught in my throat. They were arresting her, right there in my driveway. They were actually arresting her. Vanessa started crying and yelling. I could not hear the words, but I could see her mouth moving fast. She was probably begging, probably saying it was all a misunderstanding, probably playing the victim like she always did. But the handcuffs went on anyway. Officer Williams walked Vanessa to the police car and put her in the back seat. Detective Harris stayed behind, looking around the property. He was probably taking pictures, gathering evidence. My phone rang. It was Detective Harris. Mrs. Patterson, we have detained Vanessa Lewis for attempted burglary and trespassing. When we searched her car, we found documents with what appears to be your forged signature on real estate contracts. We are taking her to the station for questioning. We are also charging her with fraud and identity theft. She is going to be processed, and then she can post bail. But this is serious. She is looking at felony charges. I sat down hard on my couch. It was real now. My daughter-in-law was really going to jail. My grandbaby's mama was really a criminal. What happens now? I asked. She will be arraigned probably tomorrow or the next day, Detective Harris said. The prosecutor will decide whether to move forward with charges. But Mrs. Patterson, between you and me, with the evidence we found in her car, she is going to have a hard time talking her way out of this. After I hung up, I just sat there. Amara came running into the living room. Grandma, can we watch cartoons? I looked at my beautiful grandbaby with her braids and her bright eyes. She had no idea what was happening. She had no idea her mama was in the back of a police car right now. Sure, baby, I said. You and Jordan can watch whatever you want. I turned on cartoons for them, but my mind was somewhere else. This was really happening. Vanessa was arrested. Marcus's marriage was over. My grandbabies were probably going to grow up without their mother around much. And I was in the middle of all of it. My phone rang again. This time it was a number I did not recognize. Mrs. Patterson, this is Shanice, Vanessa's friend. Please do not hang up. I almost hung up anyway. But something made me stay on the line. What do you want? I asked coldly. I need to tell you something, Shanice said. Her voice was shaking. I need to tell you the truth about what has been going on. Please, just give me 5 minutes. You got 3 minutes, I said. Shanice took a deep breath. I never wanted any part of this. When Vanessa told me her plan to sell your house, I told her it was wrong. I told her she was gonna get caught, but she would not listen. She said she had it all figured out. She said you were old and trusting and you would never find out until it was too late. You knew about all of this and you did not tell nobody, I said. My voice was rising. You knew she was planning to steal from me and you just went along with it. I did not go along with it, Shanice said. That day at the house, I was taking pictures to show my boyfriend, who is a lawyer. I was gathering evidence to stop her. I swear to God, Mrs. Patterson, I was trying to help. By taking pictures, I said, you could have called me. You could have called Marcus. You could have gone to the police yourself. I know, Shanice said. She was crying now. I know I should have done more. I was scared. Vanessa has been my best friend since college. But what she was doing was so wrong. And now with Darnell, she has been acting crazy, like nothing matters except getting money and running away with him. Who is this Darnell? I asked. He is bad news, Shanice said. He has a record, fraud, theft. He has been in and out of jail. Vanessa met him at her old job 6 months ago. He sweet-talked her, made her think she deserved better than Marcus. He got in her head. Made her think stealing from you was okay, because family is supposed to share everything anyway. That is what he told her, that if you really loved her, you would give her the house money anyway. My jaw got tight. So this Darnell was not just a lover. He was a con man. He probably saw an opportunity with Vanessa and took it, and my foolish daughter-in-law fell for it. Why are you telling me this now? I asked. Because Vanessa just called me from jail, Shanice said. She is blaming you for everything. She is saying you set her up. She is saying she is gonna fight these charges, and she is gonna get her kids back, and she is gonna sue you for everything you got. Mrs. Patterson, you need to be careful. Vanessa is not thinking straight, and Darnell is still out there. He is gonna be mad that his plan fell apart. I do not know what they might try to do next. A chill went down my spine. I had not thought about Darnell. The man was still free. The man who helped Vanessa plan all of this. The man who stood in my house and talked about stealing from me. Thank you for telling me, I said to Shanice. I got to go. I hung up and immediately called Detective Harris back. Detective, we got a problem, I said. Vanessa had a partner in all this, a man named Darnell. He was at my house with her that first day. He was part of the plan, and he is still out there. What is his last name? Detective Harris asked. I could hear him typing. I do not know, I said, but Vanessa's friend Shanice says he has a record, fraud and theft. I will look into it, Detective Harris said. In the meantime, Mrs. Patterson, maybe you should stay with family for a few days, just until we figure out who this Darnell is and what he might do. But I was not about to run scared from some con man. I worked too hard for what I had. I was not going to hide in my house like a frightened old woman. I appreciate your concern, Detective, I said, but I will be fine. I got family around me. I got cameras on my house. And I got the Lord on my side. Darnell or anybody else want to try something, they're gonna find out real quick that Gloria Patterson is not the one. After I hung up, Diane looked at me with wide eyes. Gloria, are you crazy? That man could be dangerous. Then let him come, I said. My voice was hard. I am tired of people thinking they can take advantage of me because I am old or because I am nice. I am done being nice. Now I am gonna be smart. And I am gonna be protected, but I am not gonna hide. That afternoon, we met with Bernard at his office. Marcus came too. Bernard laid out our next steps: emergency custody hearing, restraining orders, divorce proceedings. It was a lot. But Marcus was ready. He was hurt, but he was not broken. He was ready to fight for his children. The good news is, with Vanessa arrested on felony charges, the custody case just got a lot easier, Bernard said. No judge is going to give primary custody to a mother who is facing fraud and theft charges. Marcus, you are employed, you have a stable home, you have no criminal record. You are going to get those kids. Marcus nodded. I just want them safe. I do not care about anything else, just my kids. We walked out of Bernard's office feeling like we had a plan, like we were taking control of the situation. Like maybe, just maybe, we were gonna be okay. But when we got to the parking lot, we saw something that made my blood run cold. All 4 tires on my car were slashed. Every single one. And on my windshield, written in red lipstick, were the words, "You will pay." I stood there in that parking lot, staring at my slashed tires and those ugly red words on my windshield. My heart was pounding. Marcus pulled out his phone to call the police, but I put my hand on his arm. "Wait," I said. "Look around. Whoever did this might still be watching." We all looked around the parking lot. There were other cars, but no people that we could see. Then I noticed it, a black truck parked 3 rows over. The windows were tinted dark, but I could see someone sitting in the driver's seat. "That truck," I said quietly. "It has been following us. I saw it near my house this morning. I saw it outside the police station yesterday." Bernard pulled out his phone. "I am calling the police right now. You all get back inside my office, now." We hurried back into the building. Bernard locked the door behind us and called 911. Within 5 minutes, 2 police cars pulled into the parking lot. We watched from Bernard's window as the officers approached the black truck. The driver tried to take off, but he was too late. One police car blocked him in from the front. The other blocked him from behind. The officers drew their weapons and ordered the driver out of the truck. A tall man with gold chains stepped out with his hands up. Even from the second-floor window, I recognized him. It was Darnell, the man who had his hands all over my daughter-in-law, the man who helped plan to steal my house. Detective Harris arrived 10 minutes later. He came up to Bernard's office where we were all waiting. "We got him," Detective Harris said. "Darnell Jenkins. He has got a record as long as my arm. Fraud, forgery, theft, assault. And now we can add vandalism, stalking, and making terroristic threats. He had red lipstick in his truck that matches what is on your windshield, Mrs. Patterson. He also had tools in his truck for slashing tires. And get this, he had more forged documents with your signature on them. He was planning something else." My legs felt weak. I sat down hard in one of Bernard's chairs. This man was dangerous, really dangerous, and he had been following me, watching me, planning who knows what. "Is he talking?" Marcus asked. His voice was hard. "Oh, he is talking plenty," Detective Harris said with a grim smile. "Trying to make a deal. He is saying Vanessa was the mastermind, that she seduced him into the scheme, that he was just going along with her plan because he loved her." "That is a lie," I said. "Vanessa's friend Shanice told me Darnell has been manipulating Vanessa for months. He is a con man. This is what he does." "We know," Detective Harris said. "We pulled his file. He has done this before, 3 times. He finds women, makes them fall in love with him, convinces them to help him steal from their families. This is his pattern. Vanessa was just his latest mark." Marcus put his head in his hands. My wife was so stupid. How could she not see what he was? She saw what she wanted to see, Bernard said gently. He told her what she wanted to hear, that she deserved better, that she was special. Con men are good at finding people's weaknesses and exploiting them. We spent another hour at Bernard's office, giving statements to Detective Harris. By the time we were done, it was late afternoon. Bernard offered to drive us home, since my car was not going anywhere with 4 flat tires. When we got to my old house, where the grandbabies were still watching TV with Diane, there was a surprise waiting on my porch. Pastor Jenkins from Greater Hope Baptist Church and 3 ladies from the church auxiliary. "Gloria Patterson, we heard what happened," Pastor Jenkins said. He was a big man with a gentle voice. "The prayer chain has been on fire all day. Sister Diane called the church and told us you needed support, so we came. The church ladies, Sister Ruth, Sister Beverly, and Sister Clara, all hugged me tight. Sister Ruth was holding a casserole dish. Sister Beverly had a chocolate cake. Sister Clara had a folder full of papers. "Baby, we brought food because you got enough to worry about without cooking," Sister Ruth said, and Sister Clara brought something else. Sister Clara opened her folder. "I work at the courthouse, honey. I pulled the court schedule. Vanessa's arraignment is tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Her bail hearing is right after. Figured you might want to know." "Are you going?" Pastor Jenkins asked me. I thought about it. Did I want to see Vanessa standing in front of a judge? Did I want to see her in handcuffs and a jail uniform? Yes, I did. I wanted to look her in the eye and let her see that she did not break me, that she did not win. "I am going," I said. "Me and Marcus both." "Then we are going too," Pastor Jenkins said. "You are going to have your church family there supporting you." That night, after everyone left, I sat with my grandbabies and read them stories before bed. Amara kept asking when her mama was coming home. I did not know what to tell her. "Mama is dealing with some grown-up problems right now, baby," I said carefully. "But your daddy is gonna take care of you, and Grandma is gonna take care of you. You are safe and loved no matter what. You understand?" Amara nodded, but I could see the worry in her little face. She knew something was wrong, even if she did not understand what. After the babies fell asleep, Marcus and I sat at my kitchen table drinking coffee. "How am I going to do this, Mama?" he asked. "How am I going to raise 2 kids by myself and work full time?" "The same way I did it," I said, "one day at a time. And you are not by yourself. You got me. You got Aunt Diane. You got the whole church behind you. We are going to help you, baby. Your babies are not going to lack for nothing." Marcus's eyes filled with tears. "I really loved her, Mama. Even after everything she did, part of me still loves her. How stupid is that?" "It is not stupid," I said. "It is human. You made vows to that woman. You built a life with her. That love does not just disappear overnight." "But Marcus, love is not enough when there is no trust. Love is not enough when someone keeps hurting you. You deserve better. And those babies deserve better." The next morning, we got dressed in our Sunday best. Me, Marcus, Diane, Pastor Jenkins, and half the church auxiliary showed up at the courthouse. We filled up 2 whole rows in that courtroom. When they brought Vanessa out, I barely recognized her. She was wearing an orange jumpsuit. Her hair was not done. Her makeup was gone. She looked small and scared. Her eyes found mine in the courtroom. For a second, I saw something like shame flash across her face, but then her expression hardened. She looked away. The judge was a black woman, Judge Thompson. She had silver hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Ms. Vanessa Lewis," Judge Thompson said, "you are charged with fraud, identity theft, forgery, and attempted theft of property. How do you plead?" Vanessa's public defender, a young white man who looked fresh out of law school, stood up. "Not guilty, Your Honor." Judge Thompson looked at the file in front of her. "I see there are also pending charges of conspiracy to commit fraud with a co-defendant, Mr. Darnell Jenkins. And Mr. Jenkins has additional charges including stalking, vandalism, and terroristic threats against the victim, Mrs. Gloria Patterson." The judge looked up at Vanessa. "Ms. Lewis, do you have anything to say before I set bail?" Vanessa stood up. Her voice was shaky. "Your Honor, I made a mistake. I was confused. I was manipulated by Darnell. He told me things that were not true. He made me think what I was doing was okay. I know it was wrong now. I know I hurt people. But I love my kids. Please do not keep me away from my babies." Judge Thompson's face did not change. "Ms. Lewis, you are accused of attempting to steal property worth over $200,000 from your own mother-in-law. You forged legal documents. You planned to flee the state with minor children without the father's consent. These are not small mistakes. These are serious felonies." The judge looked at some more papers. "I also see here that Mrs. Patterson has filed for an emergency restraining order to keep you away from her property and from harassing her family, and your husband, Mr. Marcus Lewis, has filed for emergency custody of your minor children." Vanessa started crying. "Please, Your Honor, I need to see my kids." "You should have thought about that before you committed crimes," Judge Thompson said coldly. "Bail is set at $50,000. You are ordered to have no contact with Mrs. Gloria Patterson or her property. You are allowed supervised visitation with your minor children pending the custody hearing, which is scheduled for 2 weeks from today." Next case. Just like that, it was over. Vanessa was led away, crying. She tried to look back at Marcus, but he was staring straight ahead, his jaw tight. We walked out of that courthouse into the bright morning sun. I felt lighter somehow, like I had been carrying a heavy weight and finally put it down. "She got what she deserved," Sister Ruth said, patting my shoulder. "No," I said quietly. "She got what she earned. There is a difference. I do not take pleasure in seeing her suffer, but I do take comfort in knowing that justice was served." Over the next 2 weeks, life started to find a new rhythm. Marcus moved into my old house with the babies while he looked for a bigger place. I started spending time at my new house, the one I bought in secret, finally making it a home. I painted the kitchen yellow like I always wanted. I planted flowers in the front yard. I hung pictures of my family on the walls. Darnell took a plea deal. 15 years in prison for his charges, including the 3 previous fraud cases they reopened. Vanessa's lawyer tried to get her to take a deal too, but she refused. She wanted to fight the charges. The custody hearing came 2 weeks later. Bernard represented Marcus. Vanessa's lawyer tried to argue that she was a good mother who made one mistake, that she deserved joint custody, but Judge Thompson looked at all the evidence, the forged documents, the plan to flee the state, The relationship with a convicted con man. The testimony from me about what I heard her say about taking the children away from their father. Miss Lewis, Judge Thompson said, you have shown a pattern of deception, poor judgment, and criminal behavior. You put your relationship with a con man above the well-being of your children. You planned to uproot them from their father, their grandmother, their home, their school, their church, everything stable in their lives, to run away with a criminal. That is not the behavior of a good mother. That is the behavior of a selfish woman who puts her own desires above her children's needs. The judge granted Marcus full physical and legal custody. Vanessa was allowed supervised visitation every other weekend. She would have to complete parenting classes and therapy before the judge would consider unsupervised visits. Vanessa sat there with tears running down her face. But she did not look at Marcus. She did not look at me. She just stared at the table in front of her. 3 months later, Vanessa took a plea deal, 5 years probation, community service, and she had to pay me back for all the money I spent on lawyers and new locks and fixing my car. She also had to stay away from me unless it was in a public place for exchanging the kids. Marcus filed for divorce. It was final within 6 months. He got the house, the car, and full custody. Vanessa got nothing but a criminal record and supervised visits with her babies twice a month. Life moved on. Marcus met a nice woman at church, a teacher named Kimberly, who loved his kids like they were her own. They took it slow, but I could see the happiness coming back into my son's eyes. Amara and Jordan adjusted better than I expected. Kids are resilient. They spent time with their mama on the weekends she showed up, but they knew their real home was with their daddy and their grandma. I finished fixing up my new house. I had the whole family over for Thanksgiving, just like I planned, but it was a different family now, smaller in some ways, bigger in others. Marcus and his kids, Diane and her husband, my other 2 children and their families who came back to town for the holiday. Pastor Jenkins and some church members who had become like family during the hardest time of my life. We sat around my new dining room table, holding hands for grace. I looked around at all these faces. Some I had known my whole life, some were new, but all of them were here because they loved me, because they supported me, because they showed up when I needed them. Lord, I prayed, thank you for bringing us through the storm. Thank you for protecting us. Thank you for giving us the strength to stand up for what is right. Thank you for this family, this food, and this home. Help us to always remember that kindness is not weakness, that standing up for yourself is not being mean, that protecting what is yours is not being selfish, and help us to forgive those who hurt us, even when they do not deserve it, because forgiveness sets us free. Amen. Amen, everyone echoed. As we ate and laughed and told stories, I thought about everything that happened. About the day I stood outside my house and watched my daughter-in-law betray my family. About the fear and the anger and the hurt. About the fight to protect what was mine. I thought about Vanessa too, about the choices she made and the price she paid. Part of me felt sorry for her. She threw away a good man and a beautiful family for a con man and a dream that was built on lies. But she made her choices. Now she had to live with them. As for me, I was free. Free from fear, free from betrayal, free to enjoy the home I worked 40 years to buy, free to love my family without looking over my shoulder. 1 year after everything happened, Marcus threw me a surprise party at my new house. All my friends and family came. The house was full of laughter and music and love. "Mama," Marcus said, standing up to make a toast. "1 year ago, you saved our family. You could have looked the other way. You could have kept quiet to avoid drama, but you did not. You stood up for what was right. You protected me and your grandbabies. You fought for us even when it was hard, even when it hurt, even when people called you mean or unforgiving. You taught us that kindness does not mean letting people walk all over you, that love means protecting the people who matter. That family is not just blood, it is the people who show up for you when times get hard." He raised his glass. "To Mama, the strongest woman I know. Thank you for everything." Everyone raised their glasses. "To Gloria!" I looked around my beautiful home at all these beautiful people, and I felt my eyes fill with tears. Good tears this time. Happy tears, because I did it. I survived. I fought back. I won. And I was finally home. Later that evening, after everyone left and the house was quiet, I sat on my back porch watching the sunset. My phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. "Mrs. Patterson, this is Vanessa. I know I am not supposed to contact you directly, but I needed to say this. I am sorry for everything. You did not deserve what I tried to do to you. Marcus did not deserve it. The kids did not deserve it. I was selfish and stupid, and I destroyed my own life. I am not asking for forgiveness because I do not deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I see now how wrong I was. I hope one day my kids can forgive me. I hope Marcus can find happiness, and I hope you enjoy your beautiful home that you worked so hard for. You earned it. Vanessa." I stared at that text for a long time. A year ago, I would have been angry. I would have wanted to text back something mean, something that hurt her the way she hurt me. But tonight, sitting on my porch in the home I bought with my own hands, I felt nothing but peace. I typed back, "I forgive you, Vanessa, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve to be free from anger. I pray you find your way back to being the woman God created you to be. The kids still love their mama. Do not waste this chance to be better for them." I hit send, then I blocked the number, because forgiveness does not mean opening yourself up to be hurt again. It means releasing the poison so it does not kill you from the inside. I sat there on my porch, watching the sky turn purple and orange and pink, and I thanked God for bringing me through, for giving me strength when I felt weak, for giving me courage when I felt scared, for giving me wisdom when I did not know what to do. I was 65 years old. I had raised 3 children alone. I had buried a husband. I had worked 3 jobs at once. I had survived poverty and loss and betrayal. And I was still standing, still fighting, still winning, because that is what Gloria Patterson does. I survive, I protect my family, I stand up for what is right, and I never ever let anyone steal my joy. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and feel free to share your story in the comments. Your voice matters.